Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is Tech Talk with Dan Harley, episode number 141. Recorded, is it worth the effort to advertise on Twitter? Recorded on March 12th, 2019. Well, last week I watched an interesting episode of Joe Rogan Experience where had Tim Pool on with Jack Dorsey and Vijaya Gadde. Jack Dorsey, if you don't know him, he's the CEO of Twitter. And Vijaya Gadde is essentially Twitter's person in charge of I call him banning and kicking people off of Twitter. So she's a head cheese regarding that department there. And Tim Pool, who is a pretty popular, the YouTuber, podcaster, so on and so forth, a respected journalist, a left-leaning journalist of all things too, which I listen to and watch quite a bit. Anyway, Tim basically essentially tore apart Jack and Vijaya regarding Twitter's claims that they don't ban or block certain people from their platform. And he said lots of things that many tens thousands of former and current Twitter loyalists wanted to say just basically call him out. Twitter didn't have a good response of any other than admitting they are literally admitted they're censoring those who do not follow certain political opinion. So we're going to talk about that, and more specific, how Twitter's decision to become extremely political is essentially killing them as a marketing platform. So in case you don't know who I am or whatever, or my YouTube channel and podcast show, I'm Dan Harley. I got over 20 years of experience of internet marketing, internet solution consulting. I've helped countless businesses succeed online with their websites, internet marketing, SEO, social networking, email marketing, and other stuff. The YouTube channel podcast show is to help more business owners out there with answering questions, solving problems, provide sound advice and direction to succeed online ultimately. You can find links to the YouTube channel, podcast show, Facebook page, and details about this and other episodes of Tech Talk at primeconcepts.net. That's primeconcepts.net. While there, please leave a comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel and podcast show, like the Facebook page. You know the drill. And thanks for your effort and support. I greatly appreciate it over the years. So anyway, the topic is worth the effort to advertise on Twitter. First of all, I have a link to the original Joe Rogan podcast show in the description, stuff like that. So make sure you visit. It's about 3 hours long, so a lot of information. But if you ever had an issue, concern, if you thought about this Twitter, essentially being one-sided with their banning, stuff like that, it's a very, very interesting, very informative podcast show among the top, and it's got millions and millions of viewers. Highly acclaimed, lots of people talking about it even now. So anyway, the story goes is conservatives, more accurately nonconformists of Twitter's certain brand of preferred followers, whatever, are getting blocked and banned from Twitter. Now Dorsey and Gadde deny this happened, but Tim Pool called him out on several significant issues, and several members being blocked or banned. Pool essentially called him out on things that many former loyal Twitter users wanted to say, including myself. Okay, my own story is I got permanently banned from Twitter for simply liking a message mocking boycott in and out, which it happened a few months ago. Within minutes, my personal account got not just blocked, not banned, permanently banned, where I'm not allowed to be on Twitter anymore. And I had another personal account permanently banned as well. So we're talking about over 30,000 followers myself here. And these followers I'm not a celebrity, so this is very hardly acquired very diligently over years of people appreciating what I do, appreciating the things I do, technical advice, stuff like I was providing on Twitter. So it was definitely a blow to me. I since overcome and went on. So I just want to make sure that's up front when I talk about this. Anyway, Pool brought up this happens. What happened to me happens to thousands and thousands of others, other Twitter followers, other Twitter members during this podcast on Joe Rogan Experience. So it's not just me; it's thousands and thousands of other people innocently got no idea why. Okay, now granted, it's Twitter's platform. I personally think it's their. If they got to beef with me, fine. I'd be like to know why. Okay, if I did something wrong, that's fine. And also, Dorsey and Vijaya, they all denied the fact that they automatically permanently ban people, where in fact it happened to me and thousands of others. And they had admit that they are oblivious of all this happening. So who knows? This might change their policy in the future. We don't know. But we're talking about here and now, right now. So a big question here is: has Twitter's obvious political slant affected advertising and marketing on their platform? And the answer is absolutely yes. Okay. In fact, let me go and show you some statistics you may want to look at here. I pulled some statistics across the board here, and bear with me here. I got some links to where they came from in the show notes. Twitter's ad revenue market share over the years, okay? At one time, Twitter was a substantial force online for ad revenue, 11.8%, 12%, essentially meaning about, now this doesn't translate across the board, but about 1 in 10 people were on Twitter who was online. So that reflects to the market share. Now this is about 2014, 2015. That's kind of the peak of where Twitter was gobbling up. Now, granted, other platforms came up since then, which has taken the chunk of the pie here. But as you can see here, 2016, 8.7%, 2017, 7.3%, 2018, 6.3%. And there's plenty of indication indicating that Twitter's losing even more market share. So this is not a good thing for Twitter, obviously. Okay, when they used to be a dominant platform, is now becoming a secondary platform. Okay, also got to look at not just the market share of revenue they're taking in. They also look at how many people literally on these platforms. And this is 2019 stats, as far as I can tell. February, the stats found. Facebook itself, by the way, these numbers you look at is the millions of users. Facebook 2.27, basically 2.3 billion people on Facebook, which if they're their own country, they would be by far the largest country in the world. And almost as many Facebook users as there are people in China and India. Going down the line, WeChat 1,500,000, Instagram about 1 billion. TikTok, which is a relatively new platform, which I was surprised already has 500 million users. Reddit, which has been around a little bit, but not as long as Twitter, 330 million, which surpasses Twitter at only 326 million and dropping, by the way. LinkedIn, which is a platform that's been around a long time. A lot of people call it LinkedIn the Facebook for professionals, 303 million users. And Snapchat, which is relatively much newer than Twitter, is at 287 million users. And recent indications suggest that Snapchat may have surpassed Twitter recently. So this is... You can see these numbers. What makes significant about these numbers here is Twitter is getting passed up by these relatively newer platforms such as TikTok and Reddit and even Instagram, where Twitter used to have a dominant share of the folks online here. So even LinkedIn, which at one time people thought they're going to go by the way of MySpace, LinkedIn's even gaining ground on Twitter to the point they're probably even surpassed Twitter right now. So all the major indicators suggesting that Twitter's losing active members. That comes down to this. Okay? And so this directly affects how effective it is to advertise on Twitter. In fact, and let me tell you, with me, how I used to, the little trick on how I used to do. I used to be able to put thousands of people, visitors on a website through its little Twitter tricks. Okay, one of the things you would do here, a common strategy is to catch trends and ride the trend like a wave. For instance, you have a news source that comes up. You see these these hashtags. You can essentially consider Twitter as the foundation of hashtag. Okay, so if the hashtag pops up somewhere, it usually starts at Twitter first and works its way out through the rest of the social networks thing. So you have something happens. Let's say a rocket launch from SpaceX. You see the hashtag goes up. You catch the hashtag trend and you ride that like a wave. You have like content that kind of relates to that hashtag. All of a sudden, people start following it and resetting it, so on and so forth. And also, you got this thousands of people on this wave that goes through Twitter here. If you do it right, you can divert that traffic, that wave into website traffic. So now recently the problem that's been going on here is Twitter's been banning and blocking users by the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, for little or no reason. And according to Dorsey and Vijaya here from Twitter, they believe they're justified for doing it. So people like me who used to be a major supporter of Twitter is now been kicked off, along with many tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of other users similar to me. So if you do this and for a little bit, that's fine. Maybe you don't. I'm irrelevant. But you do this by the tens or hundreds of thousands, that becomes an issue, and this is what's going on. Okay. Also, the trends in Twitter is becoming extremely political. The Twitter itself have extremely political conversations, and therefore the trends are extremely political too. So all these trends about generic business related stuff, or generics, is not catching ground on Twitter as it is on other platforms, and therefore there's no quote unquote wave. So there's nothing there for a typical business scenario, a marketing strategy to really catch on to. And here's something else here bluntly here too. Because all this stuff is gone, because of banning and blocking of common users of Twitter, and because of political atmosphere of Twitter, your target market, your typical, adult, between 18 to 50, whatever, your common target market that's been the target market for decades is not using Twitter anymore. They're avoiding Twitter. They're going someplace else, etc. Maybe watching Twitter from Trump. The marketability, advertising ability of Twitter is lost, is losing, or is already gone. So, and I noticed that the strategy I used to use in Twitter a couple of years ago, where I used to be able to put thousands of people on a website in a matter of just a few hours. That's maybe hundreds now. The same strategy. Even that, there's fewer conversions. So it's to the point for me as a professional, doing professional internet marketer here, it is not worth my time to advertise in Twitter. And if that's the case, those of you out there who are doing it on your own or semi-professionally or whatever, it's got to be a challenge for you as well. Okay, it really comes down to it. Let me show you basically a summary of all this thing here. From my perspective, relying strictly on Twitter for marketing and advertising is really foolish now. And that's probably given even back in the better days of 2015, 2016 with Twitter. Okay? If you're going to continue with Twitter, it's prudent to blend Twitter with other marketing strategies such as SEO or advertising on LinkedIn or Facebook, whatever, and not strictly on Twitter. Okay. Now, those you have never advertised on Twitter and says, you know what, I don't really want to for whatever reason, I'll be upfront with you. You're not going to miss Twitter if you haven't advertised with them at all yet, or even thoughts in the future. There are many other platforms that are much more effective than Twitter right now. For example, LinkedIn, which has almost as many users as Twitter, okay, has a wide diversity, wide portfolio of advertising options. And probably more focused, if you're looking for a business-to-business connection or business-to-business advertisement, probably much better to do on LinkedIn. Your dollar go much further on LinkedIn than, say, Twitter. And I wish somebody could prove me wrong in this. I really do, because I really want to see Twitter turn back around and look at what they're doing and say, hey, you know what? We're probably doing this stuff wrong. We should be, if we're going to piss off our advertisers, go someplace else. And this is unfortunate. This is, no matter what your political affiliation is, it comes down to the dollars here. If Twitter doesn't turn this ship around, they're going to run out of advertiser dollars, and then their investors are going to say, well, we're going to take our money and go someplace else. And then the stack of the house of cards will tumble after that. So, I hope things change. But this point in time here, the way Twitter is running everything, the way Twitter is going, the trends, okay, strongly suggest that Twitter as a marketing platform is failing very rapidly. And at least take some caution if you're going that route. You need to know what you're doing to get in there. Otherwise, you're throwing money in the wind, pissing in the wind there. And it's not just me saying so. Just my opinion. Just look at the stats. Look at what's going on out there, and look at just what's going on Twitter. Okay, lots of politically motivated conversations. It's one-sided. Okay, put it bluntly here. If your target market is liberals complaining about whatever out there, then Twitter's probably your platform. If your target market is, adults over between 18 to 40, 18 to 50 looking for a TV set or whatever, probably not a good place to go. Okay, so anyway, that said here, I'm sure a lot of you folks out there, in fact, the reason why I brought this up about Twitter, I meant to do this podcast show a while ago, because a lot of friends of mine were talking about Twitter and all that stuff, and that's a culmination of what this episode came about. So, and that's why I build my episodes based on questions I get from my clients and colleagues and customers out there. So anyway, if you got a question, give us a call. First of all, we want to schedule a free e-strategy planning consultation to get you in line, get you in the right direction, and help you and your business make some money. Simple thing to do is just call 760-247-4814. You can send emails and stuff like that. Go to the website, but simple thing to do is simply call us. Okay. Also, in the meantime, while you're at it, if you can visit primeconcepts.net, go to the Facebook page, you have links to the Facebook page, YouTube channel, all that good, and podcast show. Bookmark the Facebook page, subscribe to the channel, the podcast show, share this information with friends and family and colleagues. I greatly appreciate that. And most importantly, leave some feedback. Your input is what motivates me to keep going and keep doing the shows here. And so I appreciate all that. And that said, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I want to thank you folks out there for listening and watching all these years. I haven't realized I've been doing it for so long. And I'm going to start kicking out more episodes here. Also, I'm going to let you know, too, I'm going to start doing some live shows, some live stream shows relatively soon here, as soon as I get my act together. So anyway, and that said, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Thanks you folks for listening, watching. Appreciate it. And I wish you good luck and Godspeed to your online success. We'll talk to you later.